everyone. This is Lauren from Cafe Yoga, and I'm going to present to you today a guided flow. If you'd like to flow with me, it should be about a 15-minute flow. It may go a little under, a little bit over, but just know that you can use this as a nice little guideline. We're basically going to be focusing on Sun Salute C, and I'll run you through just the basic Sun Salute C, and then as we add on, this is something that you can do on your own anytime, so it's a really great one to have. So let's go ahead and come up to the tops of our mats. Hopefully you've warmed up a little bit, but we're going to do a little bit of a warm up on our own, together here. So take a big breath, come all the way up, reach up nice and tall, roll the shoulders down and back, making sure that you're anchoring through the floor or the earth with your feet. And add just a slight tilt of the tailbone. So not really over pronouncing a tilt in the pelvis, but just a slight tilt so that we engage the core. Take a breath in and hinge forward, forward fold. Hold on right here, shake out your head. This is a great opportunity while we do just these basic movements, just to do an assessment, check in with your back, your hips, shoulders, anywhere where you might be holding tension that maybe you're not even aware of right now. So we're going to take it nice and slow, come all the way back up. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale up. And exhale. We're going to move like this a few more times together, but if you're moving a little slower than I am, that's fine. Some of us breathe a little more deeply than others. But try not to go faster than I'm going. So we really want to focus on letting the breath flow. Breath is good. It does keep us alive, and that's an important thing, but it also can help to lower our blood pressure and reduce tension in the body. So matching your movement to your breath. Inhale up one more time. Exhale down, forward fold. All right, hold on right here. All right, wiggle your toes, lay them back down and looking between your feet. If you're doing traditional yoga, your feet are together typically, but we like to do with our feet about a fist distance apart. So we want our feet about a fist distance apart just for stability purposes. And it's hard, I know you can't really see my feet here, so I'm going to try to keep it from getting too confusing, but just measuring a nice little fist distance, even as if you were doing it right between your knees here. So you want that fist distance between the hands and the knees, so that when we go into a chair pose, we're not squeezing the knees together, we're pushing down. All right, holding on to the floor. Come all the way back up. And exhale, add a little chair here. Inhale up. And forward fold. All right, let's get started with Sun Salute C. Come all the way up. And here we're going to add a little bit of an upper body back bend. So we're not caving back this way. We're pressing the hips forward and adding just a little back bend as long as that feels okay on the body. You can drop your head back if you want, but it's really nice to keep a nice neutral spine. Hands to the heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down, forward fold. Now if you've got blocks, you can definitely use blocks. And you don't have to have yoga blocks. If you've got even a couple of boxes or something, something that would simulate blocks, just make sure they're sturdy. But holding onto the floor are your blocks. Shift your weight into your left foot. Now before we float back, I want you to think about picking up your right knee and pull it into your chest. Now we're pulling that knee into our chest. That's making the abdominals work, and it's giving us a little bit more core stability here as we float back. Take that right foot back. Come on into a crescent lunge. So nice little crescent lunge, pushing through the sole of the front foot and pushing out through the back heel. Hinge forward. Drop down, push back into modified plank first, unless you're feeling pretty warmed up already. If you've been doing other things, you can definitely add a full plank. Go ahead and drop it down, modified cobra. Come on up. Using all that core strength here through the back and the abdominals. Drop it on down. Push back into modified plank and into down dog. Now, picking that right leg up, bring it all the way in for a crescent lunge on this side. Whoop. So I'm on a cushy mat that's on a cushy carpet. So this ought to be fun today. Take another breath, hinge forward. Now as you bring that back leg in, bring that back knee in high to the chest. Bring it in really, really high. So really using those core muscles and set the foot down. Take a breath, come up, add that little bit of back bend. And exhale, hands to the heart center. All right, that was a basic sun salute C. So we're gonna do that basic sun salute C and we're gonna add on. Take a breath, come all the way up, add that little bit of back bend. Exhale down. So we're just gonna get a little fancy with the arms. Press that right foot back. Remembering to use the core, come all the way up. All right, knowing you can stay right here. If you're enjoying that, keeping the breath really nice and strong, roll those shoulders down and back. Take a breath in and exhale. Bring the hands to the heart center and rotate toward that front hip, that leg that's forward. Rotate toward that hip. Awesome job, you guys. Thanks so much for being here today. Come on up, hinge forward. Now, if you are healing wrists, arms, shoulders, and you're like, I really don't want to do that plank to modified cobra or up dog and then down dog, you can go ahead and press either back into down dog or just come into forward fold. All right, press it on back. Drop down. And modified cobra. Drop the forehead back down, push back into modified plank, down dog. All right, if you are in forward fold, you're gonna wanna take that left foot back. If you're in downward dog, bring that right foot forward for crescent lunge on this side. And a nice deep breath in. Rotate toward the front hip on this side. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring that knee in high to the chest. Drop it down. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart center. All right, another sun salute. See, we just changed up the arms a little bit. All right, taking a breath. Changing up those arms a little bit more again. Right foot goes back. Crescent lunge on this side. Add that little side revolved movement there. Now, extend those arms out if you feel so inclined. So it's going to be a little bit more work through the shoulders, a little bit deeper stretch along the front head of the deltoid on that back arm. And it's also going to be a big twist, a little bit bigger twist, and you might be holding your breath right now. Don't do that. Don't do it. Come on back around. Drop it down. Push back. Now this time you can move back into modified plank or you can stay in a full plank. Just remember that we don't want this and we don't want this. We want just right. We call that the Goldilocks principle. All right, drop it on down. Push into up dog. And press it back to downward dog. Right foot comes up for crescent lunge this time on this side. Revolve it. So we're revolving to the right. Send those arms out if you want. Wind it back around. Forward fold. Still in sun salute C, just changing up the arms and the torso. Now we're going to add on just a little bit more. Bring the hands to the heart center. Take it down, or bring it all the way up into that nice little back bend. Hinge forward. Right foot goes back. Crescent lunge again. Take that crescent lunge as deeply as you'd like to go. So you can take it nice and deep if you need more. If you're like, whew, no, then bring it in a little bit. Revolve it. Send those arms out. All right, let's see if I can do this without hitting my desk. All right, we're gonna take that front arm and reach it down. So only adding on if you need that. Playing with the balance. Let's do it one more time. That was kind of fun. All right, reach it on down. If you're like, nope, nope, then stay right where you are. Wind it back around. Hinge forward, push back to plank or modify it. Drop it on down, up dog. Great job. Down dog. Right foot forward, crescent lunge. Revolve it. Send it out. Find something on the floor to look at. Touch down. And up. Touch down. And up. Hinge it back around. Hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale up. Add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart center. How are we feeling? All right, make sure that you take time to get water here and there if you need to. We're going to change some things up here and we're going to move into a warrior flow. So take a breath, come all the way up and exhale down, forward fold, just to release the back, release the neck, anywhere that's maybe gotten tense. Take a breath, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart center, and we're going to move into warrior or into a sun god facing each other. So we're in sun god, we're adjusting our apparel here. Let's press our knees back. We want to make sure that our knees are stacked over our ankles. And our toes are going to be going out toward the corners of our mat, not straight side to side, because even if you're really open here, that just makes it harder to stabilize yourself. So we want to give ourselves a little bit more of a foundation. All right, take a breath, come up and release it down for moonflower. Press those knees back, inhale up, exhale it down. Inhale, one more. And exhale, hold it right here. Turn toward, let's go toward the front of the mat into warrior two. Holding it right here in warrior two now, getting as deep as you want to. But now if I go really deep, my foot should be flat. This back foot should be flat on the mat. If I start going too deep, then that foot wants to rock up. So I want to make sure that we're at good distance where we feel really secure onto our mats. Move into crescent. Back into warrior two. Into crescent. Now, as we're moving here, watching the front knee. So we're going to move back and forth from warrior two into crescent. The hips are changing. So in crescent, our hips are forward. In warrior two, our hips have moved to the side. All right, right back into it. I think that's 4. We've got 4 more to go. 5, 6, cushy carpet. 7, and 8. Come back into that warrior two. Reverse it, send that front palm up and reverse it back. Drop it all the way back down into warrior two. Come on around for crescent lunge. Finding something on the floor to look at on this side. So you should be feeling that front leg a little bit, maybe, that front butt cheek a little bit. We're going to be moving into balancing pigeon. So if you're familiar with balancing pigeon, go ahead and move into that now. If you're not familiar with it, we're bringing that back leg in and we're crossing it. Almost like we got a little invisible chair and we're sitting man style. All right, so we've got that leg crossed over. We're pushing our hips back and we're keeping our core engaged. And we're smiling because we're doing yoga at home. today, or at work. Maybe you're one of those who's got to work today. All right, float it back as easily as you can. So we want to make sure that the body's got to work to lift that leg and float it back to crescent lunge. So that those hips are going to stay forward. We're floating it back. Take a breath, come all the way up, hinge forward, push down into plank or modified plank, down to up dog. So we're going to chaturanga down, lean forward a little bit, bend those elbows, come on into up dog and down. And I'm going to switch sides so that I'm not turning my back on you guys, but you stay right where you are. All right, we're in down dog. Come all the way up, forward fold. Inhale up. Good, push back to chair. All right, coming into crescent lunge on this, or into sun god on this side, sorry. Sun god. Hearing kids in the background, it's okay. Gotta harness that chi, harness that energy, take a breath, come up and down. Let's give it one more moonflower. Drop it down. Moving into warrior two toward the back of your mat. All right, coming into crescent. Warrior two. And we're moving slowly enough here that you should be able to kind of fix yourself or check yourself once you get into the pose. 3. 4. We've got 4 more. 6. 7. 8. All right, come back into that warrior two. Turn the front palm up and reverse it. Now when you go into reverse warrior, you always want to watch and make sure that knee's not trying to follow you back, because that's usually the inclination that it has. So we want to make sure that knee stays stacked over the ankle. And this backhand is totally relaxing, but we don't want to let it rest on that back knee. So always keep it really light here. Come back into warrior two, wind it around. Find your drishti or focal point, stabilization point. Float that back leg into balancing pigeon on this side. So this is a really good hip opener. We are going to open up the shoulders a little bit more before we go down to the floor. All right, as slowly as you can, pick that bent leg up, float it back. Good, arms up, hinge forward, and add that plank to chaturanga, to up dog, down dog if you want. Drop it on down. All right, dropping our knees down, moving into wide-kneed child's pose. All right, knowing you can stay right here in wide-kneed child's pose, or walk the hands over to the left. So we're just getting a nice little stretch through the shoulders a little bit more. See if you can walk the right fingers out a little farther. And over to the right. Come all the way back to center. And come on up. Now this is a great point to go ahead and do some more stretches on the floor on your own. But for now, we'll finish our flow together. If you feel tight anywhere, pay attention to that. And just go ahead and honor your body by releasing that tension. Thank you so much for being here today and flowing with me. Please come back and check more of our videos and be sure to like Cat Fit Yoga. We sure appreciate it. Namaste.